Hello, thank you for giving me the opportunity to present the results of this work here today. The results that I'm going to present here are summarized in detail in this archive work, which I've linked on the slide. The central premise of our work relies on the composite dark matter scenarios, whose idea comes from the question, what if dark matter is a composite particle which arises from non-abelian dynamics instead of the elementary particle that we've been thinking about for so long? In particular, we will consider a theory, which is an SUN theory with 4 dark colors and 4 flavors. And this theory confines at some scale lambda dark, and the resulting low energy theory contains bound states of mesons and baryons whose masses are computed by the lattice. Now, it is important to remember that lattice does not predict absolute mass scale, but it predicts the masses in terms of a common mass scale, which is of free choice for us to choose. Such theory, which has bound states of mesons and baryons coming from underlying quarks, can be coupled to the standard model in a variety of different ways. In this case, it is coupled by charging the dark fermions or dark quarks under the electroweak part of the standard model. So the details of this theory could get quite overwhelming, and we are not going to go into the details in this short talk here. But to give you phenomenologically relevant facts, the high energy theory, where you have the dark quarks, the dark quarks have masses. So these are massive dark quarks, and these masses arise from 2 different terms. One are the vector-like masses, and the other one are the chiral masses. So the chiral masses are effectively the masses when the dark quark coupled to this to the standard model Higgs and generate Yukawa-like interaction. Okay, the resulting low energy or the macroscopic theory now contains mesons, and it also contains a dark scalar baryon, which is our dark matter candidate. So the mesons, out of the mesons, the pions and the rho meson, the pseudoscalar pion and the spin 1 rho meson, form a triplet under the standard model SU2L, or they also form a triplet under what is called as the custodial SU2R gauge group. Okay, so you get these 2 different triplets, either SU2L or SU2R. Now you can choose to gauge the SU2L triplet, and if you do that, the spin 1 rho mesons mix with the standard model spin 1 gauge bosons and effectively produce the rho mesons by the Drelian production, both its charge and the neutral components. If, on the other hand, you gauge the SU2R component, because the way this theory has been constructed, you end up gauging only the U1Y. This has to do with the custodial symmetry. You end up gauging only the U1Y component. I'm sorry. You end up gauging only U1Y component. And therefore, only the neutral component of the rho mixes with the standard model photon, and you get something like a kinetic mixing, something like a dark photon that we have been used to. So these rho mesons can decay back to the standard model fermions the way they are produced, or if phase space allowed, they can also decay to a pair of pions. The dark pions in this theory are also very interesting because they mix with the standard model goldstones, and therefore they can decay to the standard model Higgs and the Z, or they can decay to the 3rd generation standard model fermions. So out of all this, what we are interested in at the end of the day by studying this theory and by understanding all these details is we want to constrain the dark sector standard model portal. That is, we want to constrain the value of the standard model Higgs dark quark Yukawa coupling. Okay, so that's where the whole thing is going. So in order to basically understand the LHC phenomenology better, it is useful to look at some of the production cross sections and the branching ratios of the particles of this theory. And in this context, the production cross sections of rho are given here, where you have a slightly larger production cross section in the case of an SU2L gauging and a slightly lower production cross section for an SU2R gauging. As I said, when the pion mass is greater than half the mass of the dark rho decays back to the standard model particles. And in this case, you will look for it by essentially a Z prime-like Drellian resonance search. If the rho meson, on the other hand, decays back to can decay back to the dark pion, it will almost always do so. And in that case, situation becomes more interesting because this dark pion in turn will decay to a number of standard model final states, in particular third generation fermions, and therefore will give you a variety of leptons and jets in the final state. So if you have all these standard model final states, then one of the things you can ask yourself is, can we reuse the standard model differential cross-section measurements in order to constrain theories like this? And this is precisely the job of this tool Contour, wherein the Contour, the tool itself has a large database of LHC particle level differential cross-section measurements, also some Drellian searches. It can take as an input a BSM file, model file in terms of say UFO, and then by means of Herwig, combination of Herwig, Rivik, and Yoda, it generates the BSM events and compares the generated differential information of BSM model with the differential information of the standard model measurements, and therefore by statistical analysis constrains the BSM model. So here, for example, you have one such comparison. You see in black the standard model measurement of a multi-jet analysis, and in red the data plus the BSM prediction. And by comparing these two histograms, you can statistically determine if this model point is excluded or allowed. So this is precisely what we did in terms of constraining this theory. And what I show you here are some of the results for a specific model. In this case, I'm choosing the SE2L model, but the results of the other models are very similar. So if you look at this plot, you see that there is a clear change of the colors in the eta less than 0.5 to eta greater than 0.5 region. The colors correspond to specific analysis which have maximum sensitivity in this region of parameter space. So in order to create this plot, we have freely varied the mass of the dark pion because there is one scale of the theory which is free choice, and this free choice is taken to be the mass of the dark pion. And we also then freely vary the mass ratio of the pion to the rho meson. So if you do that, this boundary between eta of less than 0.5 to greater than 0.5 can be easily explained, because in the region where eta is greater than 0.5, the rho meson cannot decay back to the pion, and therefore it decays to the lepton final state, and therefore you get an exclusion, in fact, from the Drellian resonance searches, and this is what drives this region, and therefore you have the green underlying area. In the eta less than 0.5 region, however, the rho boson decays to the dark pion. As I said before, the dark pion decays to a variety of third generation standard model fermions, and they produce many jets in the final state. And in fact, that is the reason for why in the lower region, you get a lot of sensitivity from the standard model multi-jet analysis. Now, the standard model multi-jet analysis or multi-jet measurement, in fact, needs a very precise prediction of the standard model multi-jet theory prediction, and that's something which is quite difficult and can have a lot of uncertainties. So in order to understand this low eta region, we also did a blow up. We did a greater scan in this region, and you see the results here. And in order to derive these results, we basically turned off the resonance search because we wanted to have understand the sensitivity of the standard model differential cross-section measurements. And we also turned off the multi-jet analysis because it has a lot of QCD uncertainties. And what you see here is a very interesting picture wherein even if you turn off the resonance searches and the multi-jet analysis, you see that a number of standard model differential cross-section measurements can give you good sensitivity in this low eta, low pion mass region, where you see that the exclusion derived from the LHC analysis is not great at this moment. So you see here, you constrain very, very small pion masses. So this basically tells you that, in fact, by measuring the standard model differential cross sections is as many of the final states as possible, you are going to be able to constrain a variety of new physics theories, and therefore you reuse the data. So if you have actually derived some constraints on the mass of the pion, then you can use the lattice results to convert the pion mass to the mass of the dark matter. This is precisely what we do here. We take the pion mass as the scale of the theory, and then we take the lattice prediction of the mass of the dark matter, the mass of the pion, and by doing a calculation like this, we derive the mass of the dark matter, which is excluded, given the excluded mass of the pion. So if you do that, you basically see here that the mass of the dark matter, excluded mass of the dark matter, in fact, gets pushed into a very, very high mass region. Here we exclude up to tens of TeV of dark matter masses, okay? This is the exclusion on the mass of the dark matter. We can also derive exclusion on the dark matter coupling to the standard to the standard model quarks by means of direct detection analysis. And this is precisely what is done here, where you compute the direct detections, basically scattering of dark matter of the standard model quarks in the nuclei. And what you see here basically are the results where you fix the Yukawa coupling between the dark quark and the Higgs boson, which is this Y effective, and you compute the resulting dark matter standard model cross section. Okay, so these are lines for fixed values of the Yukawa coupling. This here is basically the Lutz, the xenon latest limits from the xenon experiment, and the dashed line here is basically the exclusion coming from the LHC searches. Okay, now this is a plot for a very fixed value of the pion to rho meson mass. You can do this plot for as many values of pion to rho meson masses as you want. Okay, so the way you want to understand this plot is, if you want this model to be allowed for any given mass of the dark matter, you must have a value of the Yukawa coupling, which gives you a cross section below the black line. Okay, and if you want also to obey the LHC limits, then you also want to be on the right-hand side of this dashed dotted line. So for example, if you take a mass of something like 10 power 4 GeV here, then you are essentially going to be in the allowed region if the Y effective is less than 0.4. Okay, so that's the way you should read this plot. And if you can make this plot for one specific value of eta, then you can in fact produce a summary where you have the dark matter mass on the x-axis, you have the allowed value of the maximum Yukawa coupling on the y-axis. What you see in the colored line here are basically allowed values of the Yukawa coupling if you obey only the direct detection results. You do know that there is a constraint on the mass of the dark matter, which comes from the LHC analysis, and which involves now the Drelian searches as well as the LHC measurements. And if you take those two into account, you get these dotted black dashed line here. So if you want to be in the allowed region of this theory, you would want to be in this region where basically it tells you that it prefers a very large mass of the dark matter, or if you want the theory to be allowed, you would want to effectively have lower and lower values of the Yukawa coupling. Okay, so effectively this is basically the kind of analysis that you could do in order to take into account the existing information at the LHC to constrain new physics scenarios. So to this context, in this particular talk, we explored a specific dark sector theory where dark quarks are under SU2M gauge group. They're charged under the standard model. We use the lattice results and fix the relative bound state spectrum. And therefore, we did the LHC analysis or LHC phenomenology out of it. And using standard model differential cross-section measurements, we showed that you can push the mass limits up to multi-TeV ranges. In combination with the dark matter searches, we showed that you can have a very good limit on the coupling of the sector with the standard model particles. So I'm going to stop. Stop here, and I'm very happy to take any questions that you may have. Thank you very much.